What the hell are you talking about? Will you stop? That's just BS. Anybody who knows boxing, everybody who watches boxing knows that David Benavidez is the real deal. Now, that doesn't mean he'd beat you, because anybody could fall if you catch him right. We know who you are, Canelo, you big time. But that ain't what America has been asking for. That ain't what the boxing world has been asking for. The boxing world, Canelo Alvarez, has been asking you to go in the ring against David Benavidez.
Stephen A. Smith took a firm stance, openly criticizing Canelo Alvarez for relying on excuses to avoid a career-defining showdown with David Benavidez. He highlighted what he sees as the contradiction in Canelo choosing smaller opponents while continuing to steer clear of an undefeated knockout puncher competing in his own division.
Who's undefeated, a knockout artist, has smoked everybody in his path. He's undefeated, and he's been asking for you. And oh, by the way, Canelo Alvarez, you could get $150 million for fighting David Benavidez. The Latino population alone will ensure that you get that fight. Yo! You don't get to say something like that. You don't get to say he's nothing, he's nothing, he's nothing. He happens to be a champion who's a knockout artist, who's undefeated.
Highlighting the double standard, Smith points out how quickly Canelo agreed to face a smaller opponent. He argues that taking on a genuine threat like Benavidez isn't only a high-risk move, but exactly the type of high-stakes fight the sport of boxing truly needs.
That's what it is. You fought him. He fights at 154. You fight at 168, but you still got in the ring with him. Why won't you get in the ring with David Benavidez? Again, I'm not saying you'd lose. What I'm saying is there's a damn good chance you could. And if you could, that makes it for an epic fight. Everybody wants to see you against David Benavidez. Everybody. Don't do that to us. If you want to make him wait and say, I want to make this money, fine, even though you've made gobs and gobs of money, and the contingent will follow you wherever you go because you that big time, you that box office.
Addressing Canelo's recent fight decisions, Stephen A. makes it clear that fans have no interest in unnecessary rematches or sidestep bouts. He urges the champion to honor the sport and give the Mexican monster the opportunity that everyone has been waiting to see.
You fought Bivol. Who was asking for that? Nobody cared about that fight. You getting ready to fight him and go. A lot of people ain't clamoring for that. When you decided to fight Charlo, people weren't clamoring for that. We want Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez. And for respect for the sport, which I know you have, Canelo, I'm not accusing you of not having that. But for respect for the sport, at least talk about giving that Mexican monster, which is what Mike Tyson calls him, a chance.
Even Benavidez fires back at Canelo, accusing him of avoiding the fight. He points directly to the champion's difficulties against naturally bigger opponents as the real reason for the delay. He insists that Canelo understands the dangerous mix of speed, power, and relentless pressure that he brings into the ring.
He's definitely scared of me. You know, if you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. But Canelo Alvarez, as you can see from every time he fights a guy that's big with power, like Bivol, you know what I mean? And he's not able to suppress these fighters as much as he's able to suppress the little fighters. You know what I mean? So he sees a lot of things in me that he can't stop. You know, not only does he see speed, does he see power, but he sees a lot of heart in me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I want to prove myself to the world that I'm the greatest fighter. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't scare me to get in there with another great fighter because I know that elevates me.
Benavidez doubles down on his claim that Canelo is afraid, warning that the champion missed his best chance to make the fight by waiting too long. He says that now, as he enters the peak of his career, his improved ring IQ and relentless warrior mindset have made him a far more dangerous opponent than ever before.
He should have took the fight with me way back then because if he had a chance to beat me, it would have been back then. And he has no chance of beating me now, especially now. I'm getting all this confidence. You know, I'm stepping into my prime. You know, I'm able to deal with these bigger shows better. You know what I mean? I'm able to thrive in these shows. I'm able to, every time I fight, I'm always winning by a significant amount. You know what I mean? So I'm learning my craft better and better each and every single fight. I'm gaining more confidence every single fight. And like I said, I really want to go in there and hurt people. I'm not a boxer. I'm a warrior, and I go in there, I tear everybody up.
Jose Benavidez Sr. rips into Canelo for avoiding real danger, while praising his son as an elite warrior who constantly looks for the toughest challenges. He makes it clear that while others chase easy paydays, David is focused on defeating the highest level competition.
David's not a human. He wants to get, he don't want no tune-ups. He don't want easy fights. He wants the big boys. He wants the guys that are going to challenge him and going to bring danger. He wants to prove the people that he's the best. And he will prove it, and he will look badass with these guys.
Fuming over what he believes is the champion's fear, Benavidez Sr. breaks down the explosive skill set that makes his son such a dangerous force in the ring. He insists that Canelo knows exactly what he's avoiding, an unstoppable powerhouse with no clear weaknesses across multiple weight divisions.
Right now, there's no ingredient. There's nothing to beat the Mexican monster. What I seen, even me, I'm impressed. I'm like, what the f? How does he throw those punches like Golovkin shots? How did he drop that hand and hit you? And then he's gonna do it again, but he changed it down. Uppercuts, everything, bro, footwork, defense, Right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see any danger for David Benavidez at 175 and at cruiserweight or I don't see anything right with it.
Oscar de la Hoya blasts Canelo for hurting the sport, accusing the champion of lacking the courage to put his record on the line against elite competition. He rejects the idea that boxing itself is broken, insisting the real issue is that top stars continue to avoid facing legitimate threats.
Boxing is broken, and why can't we fix this, and why can we fix that? And I'm thinking to my head, well, it's not the sport that's broken, because us promoters, managers, everybody involved in boxing, we want to make those big fights happen. But when you're a fighter that does not want to fight the top guys, then that's the problem. The fighters not having literally the balls to go up there and fight the toughest challenges, because maybe you might be protecting your O, maybe you're never scared, but you just don't want to face certain fighters.
Lashing out over the failed negotiations, De La Hoya reveals how Canelo shut down every effort to make the Benavidez Showdown happen. He criticizes the champion for walking away from the negotiating table and constantly offering excuses to avoid his most dangerous challenger.
I believe, and we've heard it over and over and over again, Benavidez calling out Canelo. Why didn't Canelo want to fight Benavidez? You have to ask that to Canelo. I have my answer.
Well, what is it? You were trying to negotiate. You were trying to make that fight, right?
We couldn't get him to the table at all. Excuse after excuse. I mean, come on. Benavidez was chasing you for so long.
Teddy Atlas blasts Canelo's apparent reluctance to face Benavidez, calling out the superstar for hiding behind his enormous financial leverage. He argues that while Canelo has all the bargaining power, his refusal to make the fight shows he has no desire to step into the ring with a real threat.
It's not what I want to see, it's what Canelo wants to see. I don't think he wants to see Benavidez. And I'm not knocking him. He's a great fighter, Canelo. He's the cash king. He's all that. I get it, although the heavyweights have been doing pretty good with big hands lately, especially with Mr. Turkey Al-Sheikh involved. But and deservingly so, the fights that they've been doing and putting on, Usyk and Fury and Dubois, everything. But I will say that, if anything, Benavidez didn't do himself any favors if he wants to be in the Canelo sweepstakes with that performance.
Teddy Atlas criticizes Canelo's most loyal defenders, arguing that the champion uses his influence to handpick opponents while avoiding dangerous matchups. He calls out the double standard, insisting that no level of star power justifies repeatedly staying away from his toughest challenge.
There's going to be the Canelo, maniacs out there, the pom-pom. Where's my pom-poms? I don't have the pom-pom. Pom-pom, peppermint. Canelo. Look, I think Canelo's great. I have nothing against him. He does get the advantage of picking his spots more than other guys because he brings the money. I understand that. but he does get the chance to avoid guys if he wants to. He's fought everyone too. He's fought a lot of good fights. I get the resume. He's tremendous. Please, you guys, do what you want to do. Take it the way you want to take it. But don't say that I don't respect him or that he's not a good fighter. He is. He's a damn good fighter. But he does pick his spots too because he can.
Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez responds to the constant callouts by brushing aside his critics, claiming that many fighters are simply chasing attention and a big payday. He defends his legacy by arguing that he already cleared out the division to become the undisputed champion, while others remained on the sidelines.
Every fight is calling me out, no? Obviously, they looking for the payday. No, it's a reason they always calling me out. But you know, when we are like both in 168, I fought every champion at the division. I say to myself, why he never fight those champions? And then if he was a champion at that point, I fight him because my goal was being undisputed. So
refusing to give in to the pressure, Canelo dismisses the non-stop demands for a Benavidez fight. He stands firm, insisting that everyone calling him out is simply looking to profit from his star power.
Right now, it's just impossible. It's impossible. He can fight with the heavyweights. You know what I mean?
You're talking about him fighting Usyk, right?
Yeah. So, but you know, I understand why he's calling me out or they are calling me out, but it's fine.